This is an introduction to MetaMemories, which is an app that you can find on the Microsoft Store. So I will quickly show this. If you type in MetaMemories, and in case you do not see it, then please consider updating your operating system. You will see this logo, which has a boat with a few birds on a blue background. And this app is available in different architectures, including ARM64. So this means that Surface Pro X users should be able to fully benefit from this app. So then you type in memories. I am one of the developers of this app, and I am also a photographer. So I will show you how I use it on my own. For this, I need to scan a location, which I can choose by clicking here or by directly clicking into the search box. And the folder that we are going to scan is called the test images, which obviously from the name is for testing purposes. And it has in between 10 and 12 gigabytes of videos and photos. And it is also deeply nested in terms of folder hierarchy, in the sense that in many of these subfolders, I have other subfolders and sub-subfolders. So once I select test images, then MetaMemories will give you the images and the videos that it finds on the fly. But it is still computing here because I am, on the one hand, on battery, and secondly, the folder is quite big. However, nevertheless, as you can see in live, so to say, this is now done. And we can see that indeed test images has 27,972 videos and photos. So this is quite a big number of files. MetaMemories is essentially first and foremost a browsing experience for your media files. These can be videos or photos, which I'm currently viewing for the year 2010. And I can now select, for example, one item. So in this case, this is one picture. And I have here some information which comes directly from the metadata which are embedded in this photo. So if I want, I can hide this information. I can also lay back and go full screen. I can hide and show the timeline. And typically I work rather in this way. Here you have a strip film, which is now currently showing me everything which was shot in 2010. You see that it is very responsive. And another thing which is also nice is that you can zoom and move in two directions in the way you want. Okay, I am currently using a touch screen, and you can see that the app is very responsive. Okay, so you can move this wherever you want. So you can look for chromatic aberrations, for example, or you can place a picture on a web page. Imagine how it would look like. MetaMemories also allows you to edit the dates at which a photo or a video was shot. So this, together with the whole discussion about dates, will be shown on a different video. In this other video, I will discuss, therefore, how this timeline works, and in particular, in which respect it is different from other apps that you find, including the Microsoft Photos app. Okay, so I strongly recommend you to look at this other video. Besides this, in terms of editing, MetaMemories does not allow you to edit further. Okay, so for example, you cannot crop an image, you cannot change the brightness of an image, you cannot trim a video even. For this, we actually provide you with a link with which you can open the file in question with the editor of your choice. There are two main reasons why we limit the capabilities of MetaMemories in terms of editing. The first reason is because we do not want to reinvent the wheel. You have tons of software which exists in the market and which is very relevant for editing, especially nowadays in 2020. And the second reason is because otherwise it would defeat the very purpose of this app, which is in being a lightweight app. It can handle a very large amount of files, and it also has a very fluid search experience, which I'm going to show now. Okay. So said differently, MetaMemories, the way you should see it in a nutshell, is that it is a kind of a Google search for your media files. So let me look, for example, in test images for videos. So I type video. Okay, and you see how fast this app is giving me now all the videos that were taken in and which are placed in this folder. Okay, I can also be more specific and say, give me the videos of 2018. So let me halt here for a moment and tell you that the video word, I could have, instead of putting it here, I could have set it at the forefront before scanning by saying, okay, don't give me photos and videos, but give me only the videos. Okay. You can also include or exclude subfolders if you want. So anyway, this section, I let you discover it on your own because I think it's pretty intuitive. So coming back to the search, you can as well set video as I have done here, and this will filter anyway. So we can also be more precise now with the date and say, give me the videos that were shot on September 28, 2018. And you see that it is returning me the results, and it's much more narrowed. So now notice here that the date format which I have chosen is respecting the language of my operating system. I am currently using a laptop which is set to Great Britain, so United Kingdom, if you prefer. Um, and so this is why I choose this format for the date. So this you'll have to adapt it to your own language, basically. So you can also spell out stuff directly. So for example, September, as written here. You can also, instead of the space, go on and put an ends. So in this case, this will be interesting when you start chaining more and more keywords. Okay, here I have video, and then I have a date. And if ever I want to add something else, so for example, and MP4, then sorry, MP4, then it will be maybe necessary to have the end. Okay, so you can also use an or actually. So let's put it or photo. For example, now I'm saying video or photo that were shot at that date. And indeed, I have one picture and 3 videos. There are two things, however, to have in mind and to never forget, so to say, about these two keywords is that first of all, they should be always in capital letters. And secondly, never translate them to the language of your operating system. They should always be in plain English and in uppercase, okay? These two keywords are actually directly talking to the Windows operating system. So don't mess up with them. So let me give you another example, which is also fluid and maybe of interest for photographers. So I personally very often shoot, actually almost exclusively shoot in RAW and JPEG whenever I take my pictures. And one simple way to filter out is to just say RAW. So this will avoid me in having duplicates. So mind you here that the RAW which I'm using here is actually quite generic. I'm not specifying if this is going to be a NEF file, which is a RAW format from Nikon, or a PEF file. So this will not work all the time. It will work only for those files which have declared themselves as RAW. And this is the case, for example, of DNG, which I have here, or here, which is a PEF file. So this is, for example, taken from a PEF file, which is from Pentax, okay? I do not have NEF files here because for some reason Nikon does not declare itself as a RAW format for the NEF format. So in this case, you would just type in NEF for NEF, right? So this is a very quick way of filtering out to avoid duplication whenever you shoot in RAW and JPEG. So now this example, as well as the example that I have shown for video, is something which is looking everywhere inside test images, okay? But you can narrow the research in different manners also. So for example, one day I went to Australia. So I type Australia, AUS, and as soon as I type Australia, it gives me results, okay? So this is one picture which I have taken in Australia. So why is this working in this case? There are two reasons. The first one is because I have prefixed the name of all my files with AUST, and this is something that you can do with a camera. And the second reason is because simply I have a folder which is called Australia, which is somewhere sitting inside the test images. All right. So even if I did not prefix the name actually here. If I left it as it is typically in this format, DSC, then this would have worked anyway because there was the folder. All right. So I am mentioning this because it may seem trivial, but actually it is something which is really relevant for people who have an organized workflow. And myself, when I do photography with a real camera, not a smartphone, but a camera, then I have an organized workflow. When I went to Australia, I came back and then I have a folder and I have the date in it, and then I leave it like this. And 10 years later, because this is 10 years ago, yeah, then I look at it in this way. But now instead of going through File Explorer and fetching my folder inside all of this, it can really get messy. With MetaMemories, you can get it immediately. So if forever you shoot a wedding, between Mary and John, for example, then you would type in wedding here. Okay. So said differently, this search box is really something that you have to see as your friend in a way. It is here to help you. So exploit it and explore it as much as you can. So let me give you another example, which is now maybe more relevant for smartphone users, because I am also a smartphone user. So I have a phone, I make calls and I take pictures and I take videos. Okay. And one way to achieve it is actually what we have seen previously with the video keyword. But there are other things that you can also do, and I'm going to show you one here. And this is actually a real example. One day I was with my dog, and actually I was looking for a picture that I took with my dog, and I remember that this was in between 2019 and 2018. So I did not want to bother looking into these 2 years here because I had a lot of pictures. I want to get faster to the results in a way. And this was taken from a smartphone. So I did not have this organized workflow because with a smartphone, you definitely never name the pictures of your file, as I have seen, as we have seen with Australia. Okay, you never do this. You just take pictures and that's it. And even more, whenever my phone is full, typically what I do is I just take the whole bunch of pictures and photos and I put them somewhere on a big folder, and it remains as such in an unstructured way. So this is where you have to be a bit clever. So looking for my dog, I said to myself, okay, this picture was taken with a smartphone, and I remember the brand. This was an iPhone. So I type iPhone, okay? So what I'm doing here actually is that I am asking the metadata to help me, okay? Because I know that they are there, and images have a bunch of metadata, and this is one of them, the brand. And the brand of a phone is not something you should neglect because it is typically something that people remember. I personally remember which phone I had during which period of my life. And that's really an asset in a way. So imagine now for a while that I did not find my dog. So actually, I have found my photo, so I could stop. But imagine I did not find it. I found something else, say, for example, the boat only. So what I have now is a context because I have the picture of my boat, and but the dog is still not there. So I know that I'm close. So what you can do in this case is be a bit more inquisitive and say, okay, I'm not going to plug in the brand only, but I am going to put the model, and this is an iPhone SE because I have read it here. Okay, and you can even go further by plugging in the date, which you can find here. So I will put just a year for the purpose because we have seen this before. So you see how the number of results is really narrowed in this way, and you should be able to really get quickly to what you want. I'm convinced of this. So when I have seen when I did this search actually, because I told you that this was a real story, I was laying back with my friends, and believe me, actually, the experience that we had was really pleasing, because they were around me hanging, and they said to me, "Oh yes, I remember now that day, and can you show me the picture where we took the dinner?" And it's in there. Okay, so I'm not going to show it here, but it's here. So it was really a pleasing experience. So use this as an asset. And actually, by the way, let me tell you that the name MetaMemories of this app is named as such because it is a way to get to your memories with the help of metadata. Understood? So this is exactly what we have done. We have looked through metadata to retrieve our memories. So this is, if you want, the concept. So now there are other things that you can do, and I will show you something which is not a bit more advanced, but some so for people who are interested really in metadata and who know how to use them. Huh? So for example, you know that in metadata you can put in various stuff. So for example, you can geotag. You can put in GPS localization. So if I will have time, I will show you this quickly later on. Uh, and you can also have something like tags. So tags, it is a kind of a section in the metadata. And whenever you want to address something specific in the metadata, then you have to put a colon like this. All right. So now I am saying tags colon show me everything about Alaska in the tags. Okay. So this is a very precise instruction to MetaMemories because I am saying, please go and look for Alaska only and only in the tags section. Okay. If for some reason I forgot if that was a tag or a comment or a title in the metadata, then you just remove it. Okay. And this will work equally well, except that now it is looking everywhere. And notice, by the way, here that for this file, for example, it is completely cryptic and I do not have Alaska there. And believe me, trust me, hopefully, that I have absolutely no folder which is called Alaska. So this is really taken from the tags ultimately. So coming back to this precise instruction, you can also exclude and include. So for example, I can say, show me all the files which have a value in the tag. So for this, you need to put the colon, a minus, and closing square brackets, right? So these are files which have a tag. And these two are, for example, the ones with Alaska, okay? You can also do the opposite. So in which case you remove the minus sign. And this is now returning me all the files, videos, and photos which do not have a value in the tag, okay? And this, for example, is one of them in the same way as all these ones, all right? So maybe we can jump into latitude now. For example, I can say, give me the latitude. So I have to type it correctly, latitude. So this image has no GPS coordinates. It has no latitude, at least. I can say, well, show me all the others which have a latitude. This one has one. And it's taken from iPhone 5S because it was spying me in a way. So actually, I took one picture. I typically do not use GPS coordinates, but I took an example from the web. So this is a picture which I downloaded from the internet. And this is now, I am putting in between closing brackets the degrees, 51, 30 minutes. And for the seconds, 51 degrees, 30 minutes, and the seconds, it's trickier because it's a precision point. So it's something like 78, but this is not working. And this will not work neither, actually. So this is because it's very precise. So the best thing to do is here to say, give me anything which is non-empty, right? Or you can just leave it out, actually. All right. So this is the London Bridge. Huh? It's downloaded from the web. Okay. So my apologies if you took this picture. It's not me. So you can also say, well, as I said, give me everything which is non-empty, and for the longitude, longitude, give me anything which is non-empty. All right. And if you switch this from 30 to 31, it's not working anymore. Okay. For example. All right. So that's the concept. Well, now, what else can I show you? We have seen the tags. We have seen this. Um, yeah, I can show you another one which I rarely use, but I still show it because I find it funny. One day I was looking for my icons, okay? And icons are small in size. So if you publish something on the web, if you have a website, for example, you are dealing with icons. So you may say, okay, look for size. So I put a colon below 10 kilobytes, okay? And so it returns to you, sorry, all the images and possibly videos, but this will be difficult, which are below 10 kilobytes. Okay, and then you can even append further by file type. So this is only the PNGs. And so here we see, for example, the logo of MetaMemories. So look, in terms of search, I think this is all about really understand this idea that MetaMemories is a way for you to look for your memories with the help of metadata. Uh, Trust this machine. It should be able to give you something. And if you mess it up, don't worry. I mean, if you type in KKKK, whatever, it will just tell you there's nothing. Yeah. So in a future video, I will talk about what I said in terms of the dates, and I will also make a different video where I will just briefly explain you what happens whenever you scan an external hard drive. Okay, there are a few things to understand such that you do not panic. Okay, because the behavior of MetaMemories is slightly different, but nevertheless, please, yeah, watch it. So whenever you have comments to give us, please do so. You have two channels. You can either choose the Microsoft Hub, which is here, and try to be as precise as you can. If you find a bug or if you have a suggestion, we really welcome this. But really think twice before giving us suggestion, because try to imagine that we would like to protect this concept of this app as much as possible in the sense of simplicity. Okay, so if you tell us start putting editing, then most likely we will say no. Okay, so voila. And the other channel that you can use actually, and where we really encourage you to go, is on the YouTube channel. For each of the videos that we will be publishing, if you have comment or suggestions and so on, just put in the comment in YouTube. Okay. So with this, I would like to just briefly end up by mentioning to you the philosophy of this app. MetaMemories has no ads. It is free, and it comes fully featured. Okay. However, we decided to propose a subscription for those who would like to support the project, and it is done in the Patreon style, if you know Patreon, except that it is done entirely through Microsoft. And for this, we have set the pricing, which is the smallest that we could find on the Microsoft Store. And in British pound, this is 0.79 cents per year. Okay, so it is available in every currency. And for example, in US dollars, this will be 0.99 cents per year. And in euros, it will be 0.99 cents per year. Okay, and you can cancel this subscription at any time, of course. So with this, we are looking forward for your comments and see you in the next clips.